Hello and welcome to episode 1 of Purple Martins on the Prairies. I'm Jared Clarke. I'm a biologist and have been a Purple Martin landlord for almost 11 years now. So I thought I'd make this video series to share my passion for Purple Martins with folks and hopefully get some other people interested in maybe putting up some houses or that kind of thing. So the first question I'm going to talk about on episode 1 is where should I put my Purple Martin housing? So let's say you want to get into it and you're not quite sure where you should place it. What's the best place to attract them? Let's talk about that today. So the first thing you want to think about is Purple Martins love open space. So you want to pick the most open space that you have at least 40 feet away from large trees. Purple Martins are aerial insectivores, and so they have this beautiful flight where they come in from way up high, fold their wings, and then just kind of drop in this glide down to the boxes or the gourds. And so they like to have lots of space. So 40 feet minimum from a tree, ideally up to 60 feet. You'll notice here in the yard, my Martin houses, we got the gourd rack here, we got the other one, where we go, right here, and the T14 behind us at the back there. We've kind of got them spaced right in the middle of the trees. The 16 guy, oh, I'm not very good at pointing here. The 16 guy is close to the trees. It's about 40 feet, the minimum kind of thing, and it does work, but we're kind of on the edge. The birds generally come in behind me here and make the big dive and then kind of to curl around there. So maximum or minimum 40 feet away from that space. The other thing that you want to think about is Purple Martins actually like humans, and so they like to be close to houses or human activity. And so the recommendation is to put your boxes or your houses about 30 to 100 feet away from your house or human activity. And this one I just measured, we're actually 25 feet from my garage, so or the house there. So they do like to be really close to people, and it is so much fun to be able to sit at the table over there and just watch them so close. The other thing that you want to think about is the height now. Recommendations on the pole height is 12 to 20 feet, somewhere in there. And then you also want to think about having a winch or pulley system where you can actually raise and lower the gourds or the houses so that you can check on the birds throughout the breeding season. And this is going to greatly improve fledging rates and hatching rates. So something else you want to think about is being able to actually access the house or the gourds. So you can look in and check on the Purple Martins during the nesting season and making sure everything's okay. So this is the T14 house here, a pretty common style for Purple Martins. And you can see we can get in quite easily and check on the nests during the nesting season, all 4 of them on this side. And yeah. The other thing to think about is also the size of the cavity. And so at minimum you see Purple Martins need a 6 by 6 inch cavity or floor space in the nest box. And that's really, I'd say, the absolute minimum. Last year we had 2 nests that had 7 young. And so you think if they're both adults are in there and the young are in there, there's 9 birds in that nest box, and 6 by 6 is not enough space. So the recommendation is a 7.5 by 12, anywhere between that, between a 6 by 6 to 7.5 by 12. It gives the birds just that much more space to spread out on hot days, but also if you're they can make the nest way at the back of the nest box here and avoid predators. So one of the questions I sometimes get asked about is, can I set up a Purple Martin colony in my backyard in, say, a town or in a city? And it really comes down to, do you have the space requirements that we've kind of talked about, at least 40 feet away from large trees and that kind of thing. So if you do, then certainly you should be able to attract Purple Martins. If you're in a well-treed area, a well-treed neighborhood, then it's probably unlikely that you'd be able to attract them. But maybe if your house backs onto a large park or there's other spaces. So I know a friend has his purple martin houses up at a community garden, so lots of open space there, and the birds do quite well. So maybe it's not necessarily in your backyard, but maybe you have access to another piece of property where you could put up a martin house and monitor it there. Well, that's pretty much it. You know, thinking about the most open space you can give the birds within well, 30 to 100 feet of a human house or a human activity. Your nest or your pole should be anywhere between 12 to 20 feet off the ground. And you should really think about a pulley system or a winch systems to be able to lower the housing units up and down so you can gain access. Also thinking about having access to all of your martin gourds or houses so that you can check in on them during the breeding season, and thinking about the size of the cavity that you're giving to the birds as well. So lots to think about, but if you take those all into consideration, your chances of attracting purple martins are greatly increased. And lots more information on this. I want you to go and check out Purple Martin Conservation Association, their website, purplemartin.org. There's all this and so much more. There's so many great resources on there on how you can attract purple martins. And yeah, so that's episode 1. Episode 2 is going to be coming at you pretty soon. We're going to talk about scouts, purple martin scouts, and how you can get your gourds and housing ready for their arrival, because they are going to be here very soon. So see you next time.